Welcome to the Week 11 Start Sit Show presented by the IDP Guys. This is Week 11. We got 4 teams on bye, which are the Seahawks, Jaguars, Dolphins, and Buccaneers. So make sure you do not have them in your lineups. Also, later in the show, we will be announcing a giveaway that we will be doing, and we're going to tell you how you can enter that giveaway as well. But first, let's start off with introductions. We got Mike and Will here. Mike, will you just go ahead and give a quick introduction and how to find your work?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I am Mike Scully. I'm up here in the Northeast, repping the Northeast. I do tight end ranks for the IDP guys here, as well as run the weekly newsletter, which comes out every Wednesday with all the defensive news that you would need to know. The link to that is in my Twitter bio, which is at Michael__Scully. So be sure to check that one out too.
Will, how about you? Where can they find your work?
Good morning, everybody. You guys can find my work as well as everybody else's here on the idpguys.org. And I'm also moderately active on Twitter at ff_skinny chef. I do the defensive injury report and also the defensive line rankings for the IDP guys.
Awesome. If you guys have any questions regarding your start sit lineups, trades that could be coming in the next couple days or weeks leading up to your playoffs, drop those in the comments below and we'll get those answered for you. Let's go ahead and start off with the game that is a home game for Buffalo, but being played in Detroit. It is officially on. Buffalo made it to Detroit, and Mike was just talking about how he is already blowing money.
I'm starting this week in a 15-point hole, everybody. I made the decision to take the under in Tuesday when I thought I was clever than knowing that the snowstorm was coming. And then they moved it to a new stadium, not just a new stadium, but a domed stadium. And the line has moved 7 points in the other direction. So we're not feeling as confident with that, but there's some other props that I like that if you check the Twitter, I've put some out. Nice little cameo of Will's dog there. I love it.
That's actually my cat, Phoenix.
Oh, it's your cat. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Lovely. Lucky start.
What kind of fantasy impact do you think this has now that the Bills are playing in Detroit? Are we seeing Josh Allen going off again? Or do you think that elbow is still going to slow him down, which it didn't last week?
I think he showed last week that at the minimum, he's still going to run the ball, right? I mean, we saw 70-plus rushing yards out of Josh Allen. We know he can still throw the ball. He still put them in position to win the game outside of his own mishap. So, I mean, Josh Allen's still a fire-up play. Gabe Davis is still as boom-bust as you'd like. In this matchup against the Browns allowing, top 5 in passing touchdowns allowed. Or bottom 5, I guess. Gabe Davis is probably worth a shot, but you know what his floor is. You're playing Diggs every week. I expect a relatively high-scoring game, honestly. A lot of injuries to that Bills defense.
So with Logan and Gary, with you guys just joining us, we're talking Browns-Buffalo and the fantasy impacts it has. And Michael just touched on the offensive impact this game is going to have for Buffalo. How about on the Brown side of the defensive ball? Gary, what are you playing any of these linebackers? Are you staying away from them? What are you doing with these guys?
If I can avoid them, I'm going to. I mean, if I have a more solid, TJ Edwards, even Jack or something like that, definitely. I think the matchup's fairly decent, and I think is JOK back or not?
The last I heard is he's healthy, but I have not heard if he's playing yet or not.
Out of the 3, Techie is the only one I'm touching, but it's hopefully not as my LB1. I mean, I think he has the upside. He could end up doing that, but I'm not betting on it.
Let's look up JOK here and see if he's playing.
If Jones is playing, we already seen Techie get to 100% snaps last week.
Yeah, practice starting Wednesday full, so he should be good.
Right. I believe he's actually grading out well, too.
Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah is back.
Well,
that's unfortunate.
Well, yeah. So that puts it right back to what I was at. Only if I really have to, and the only one I'm going after is Techie.
So let's go ahead and get into some of these comments. We got 2 as of right now. First one from Will Power. Who do you guys got this week? Luvu, Sanborn, Perryman, or Christian Harris? Also, would you drop Elliott for Jackson?
Yeah. I want to say my first instinct is to line up Jack Sanborn out. I mean, I want to play Perriman, but I'm not going to risk him sitting at I believe a 4:00 start time, and we already saw what that could be last week. So I'm not going to willing to play that game again. It comes down between Jack Sanborn and Christian Harris for me. I'll probably go Sanborn just because of that production we've seen. We know Christian Harris can occasionally have some missed tackles, which can lead to a lower floor than someone like Sanborn, who's been a near every down guy and has been pretty good. So I'll ride with Sanborn.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I like Sanborn. Luvu's been sick. Not sure he's going to play yet. I like Christian Harris a lot, but I think Sanborn's just he's the better play this week. Perryman, I don't want, same as you, I don't want to risk him not playing, especially in that 4 or 5 slot.
Not Perryman.
You were right on that last week.
Yeah, it was hard. It was like, I wondered how that worked out. Yeah, I had to look the other day, and I was like, damn, that's unfortunate, actually. You know what I mean? I wouldn't drop Elliott for Jackson, personally. I like this matchup is Elliott hurt? He's not out, right?
Well, that's the question of whether he plays or not right now. He's in the concussion protocol. He was limited all week, so he missed last week with us. So in theory, it's typically not 2-week absence. Hurt. But yeah, you'd also like to see him out of the protocol by Sunday morning.
Yeah, if he's only limited, he's not going to go. They got to get a full practice in.
What's that matchup? Who are they playing?
The Lions have the Giants.
Bears
have Atlanta.
Is there any other options? I'm not looking at a lot of production coming out of that. Let's see here. Nope, my bad. They're top 10. Yeah, I guess you have no choice.
Yeah, ideally, I'd like to stash Elliott another week instead of dropping him. But if you had to pick one up and play one, you're probably going to miss Sean Elliott this week. So Eddie Jackson's not a bad play.
Yeah, it's probably more secure at this point after seeing the matchup. It's hard to believe how Eddie Jackson's come back.
Oh, yeah.
If Johnny Greek was on here with us, he'd be calling skid marks. No lie. All right. So, that's good shit, man.
So, moving over to the offensive side of the ball, Jalen Hurts or Justin Fields?
Good problem to have. That's what that is.
Yeah, I'm thinking Justin Fields. Riding that hot wave. Playing Atlanta, I believe, correct?
Yes, he is. And Atlanta allows, as I say every single week, because they'll never change, over 300 passing yards a game. And we know what Fields can do on the ground. I'll play Fields, even though I do believe the Eagles absolutely annihilate the Colts in the get-right game.
I think you should go pick up Andy Dalton and play him against the Rams. That's my dad, and he's playing me in our league. So.
Oh yeah, Andy Dalton then for sure.
Actually, I think PJ Walker.
Heineke's
better option.
The waiver wire is probably your friend in this question.
I do like Justin Fields, and I'm actually stacking him with Cole Kmet today.
Ooh. Good luck.
I picked them both off the waiver wire in the last 2 weeks.
Took 10 weeks for my Cole Kmet love to grow, but it finally has, and I love it.
I know. Cole Kmet finally.
Back over to the IDP side of the ball. Your thoughts on picking up Peyton Turner in a deep dynasty IDP league? Gary, this is right up your alley here.
Actually, I believe it was in my IDP Guys article this past week. Him and Ganderson are 2 guys that deep dynasty stashes. Davenport's done. He's been done. So we seen this coming last year before, actually. He's just been a bust. I'll throw it out there. It's just he needs to change his scenery or something. Anyways, but those 2 are definitely good deep stashes. I don't think I'd be throwing them to the Wolves this week. These are guys you just want to hang on to and see what happens in the offseason. Keep your eye on them when everybody's making room for rookies and these guys hit the waiver wire. Shit like that. I don't know about playing them this week, though. The snaps weren't there, if I remember right.
Not quite. Yeah, I'm honestly a little surprised he's on your waivers, especially if that's a deep IDP league. Peyton Turner was a guy that coming out of draft season, a lot of people were saying draft him. He got drafted, I think, in most of my leagues are in the 5th round. So yeah, definitely he's out there. Pick him up. He's going to be a good play for you probably next season. But kind of like Tipster saying, I wouldn't touch him at all this season.
Yeah, I lean the same way. Go for it, Logan. Go for it.
Okay, I would say he's someone I definitely would grab in a dynasty league if possible, but don't look forward to playing him this year too much unless Cam Jordan and Davenport go down. Then you might get a spot start or something. But
he's going to be a 50% guy. I think you could be a sneaky play this week against the Rams. I mean, he's been sneakily somewhat productive over the last few weeks, and the Rams are a good matchup for defensive ends. And
Cam Jordan is out. Cam
Jordan is also going to miss, so that 46% snaps he normally gets could all of a sudden be 70 or 60 even. And, he's established a decent tackle floor for the limited snaps he's had. So I don't mind playing him this week, but definitely I think we're all on the same page of picking him up and definitely have him on your bench.
Only reason I don't is the playoffs.
And on a side note, Cam Jordan missing his first game in 12 years, by the way. Just one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
That is insane. That is absolutely wild. As I make sure he's not in any of my lineups right now.
I like Ganderson too. I had them both in there. If he's going to get more snaps too, I think he would be just as good as chance as Peyton Turner this week. If you're saying that Cam Jordan's out,
I think so.
I was doing all my DFS stuff this morning, so I had not brushed up on every. I appreciate that. You guys are actually. My mind's racing. Like, all right, I got to go into the app when I'm done here.
Yes, Saints Cam Jordan is out.
That makes a little bit more of a difference. I didn't catch that at first, so I might have to lean into. For deep dynasty degenerate league, Yeah, Michael had a good call there. I think it could hit, but that was interesting. I did not know Jordan was out. Damn it.
From Steven, Mooney or Garrett Wilson is a full PPR league.
Yeah, the good matchup with Atlanta, like I mentioned before, is really tough to pass on. And obviously New England's not exactly the most favorable environment for the Jets to go in and pass the ball. Yeah. I think I would lean Mooney, especially with I think I would lean Mooney, even with Corey Davis out. So yeah. I think it's a higher floor with Garrett, though, somehow.
I don't think it is. I would go Mooney there as well. I think you kind of saw him get used on a couple of deep shots last week, or not necessarily deep shots, but some longer throws. If they connect on just one or two of those, he could be a really good play for you this week. So I'd go Mooney over Garrett Wilson.
3 weeks ago, Garrett Wilson was 6 of 7 for 115 against New England, so it's not like he could, it's not like he can't pop off. Yeah, I still think I'd take the matchup with Fields and Mooney. I'm going to ride the Fields hot hand, though. I wouldn't blame you, though, for playing Garrett Wilson. It's, there's definitely a super high ceiling there.
We got a good afternoon from Marco. And hey, Marco. He is also asking, who should I start? Anzalone, Logan Wilson, Quincy Williams, or Sanborn? He needs to start 2 of them.
I think Sanborn first off for sure for me.
Yeah. That's an easy one, I feel like.
Probably Logan Wilson's the second one for me. I know he's been up and down, and we're positive he's playing, right? Because I know he was a big question all week.
Yeah, he's got no tag.
Okay, then I'll go Logan Wilson as my number 2. I'm just sick of seeing Anzalone's name as a genuine boring start every week, but I'll go Sanborn and Logan Wilson.
Yeah, I'm going to go Wilson and Sanborn. Don't trust Quincy Williams with not known Alexander or whatever his name is lingering. Yeah, I don't know.
They both got good matchups. Quincy Williams is going to see plenty of Ramondre, and Wilson's going to see lots of inefficient Najee. So I'll make it easy for you and go Logan Wilson on a clean sweep.
Yeah,
I think him and Quincy are close this week, though.
Yeah, they're.
I just gave the edge to snaps because I think Logan Wilson will probably get 15% more, and they both have that edge. Like Quincy will probably run that 75. I think we see 90 or so at least for Logan.
I think you're safe if you played Anzalone. He's actually overachieved, but to hit that bigger ceilings, it's probably Wilson and Sanborn.
Anzalone's does have Saquon, and Saquon had 35 rank carries last week, so he's gonna be busy. I guess those are all really good options.
Sure.
Steven, Isaiah Simmons' outlook for the rest of the season. I'm thinking about picking him up. He looked good.
I think with a ceiling, he's definitely worth a roster spot if you've got it. Absolutely. I think you're still playing matchups with him and hoping for big plays, but definitely grabbing him if you got the spot.
Yeah, I dropped him in a 10-team shallower IDP league earlier this year, and I'm kind of regretting that right now. If he's out there and you don't have to drop anyone to pick him up, I would definitely do it. But I'm not dropping somebody to pick him up. If you've got some space because you got guys on IR or whatever, I can snatch him up. But there's nobody that I could really consider dropping him for.
Yeah, he's hit 80% snaps in 6 games this year. 3 of those have been the last 3 weeks. Yeah. And he hit 100% for the first time this past week, which I know made waves on Twitter and within the IDP community as we finally saw him in an every down role. So, yeah, I think it's very matchup based because some weeks they're going to roll him out less, some weeks they're going to roll him out more. So I think you have that boom bust nature with him, but he's a good player in my opinion. He's a baller. So, I don't mind picking him up at least and playing him on matchups.
I couldn't wait to get him off my roster when I seen I wasn't going to make the playoffs in my flagship league. Traded him for Von Bell, believe it or not. And then Von Bell flopped that very next week, which secured that I wasn't going to go to the playoffs. But either way, it was still good to see Simmons off. Tired of dealing with this dude. So, but for the rest of the season, you could do a lot worse. I mean, you might as well pick him up. He's producing. Either way it goes, I wasn't planning on dynasty wise though.
Marco's back in the questions asking, is Geno Stone startable or should I pick up Jackson, Emerson, Kearse, or Kenny Moore?
I think that's a Dory Jackson, which I was thinking for a second it was Eddie, and I would have just said Eddie, but that's a tough one for me. Dory Jackson's been very good this year. I'm not going to play Kearse.
I might jump on Kearse.
Really?
Maybe. Who they got?
Interesting. The Cowboys have
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Yeah.
See?
I mean, this week the Ravens are taking on the Carolina Panthers and Sam Darnold. So,
yeah,
you really want to miss out on Sam Darnold throwing the ball?
Oh, is it not Baker? It's Sam Darnold now?
No, it's Baker. I'm pretty sure.
I thought they said Darnold was getting the start this week.
Oh, I wouldn't have missed that news. I would have been rejoicing in the streets at the
all right, I gotta double check
the comeback of my guy Sam Darnold.
I think they definitely have Darnold on retainer as the backup though. So who knows? Baker could throw 2-3 picks, and they'll throw Darnold out there to throw his 2 or 3 picks. Yeah, that's a bad game.
I misread that. Okay, could play some.
I mean, Baker's still a pretty juicy matchup. For me, it's between Geno Stone and Dory Jackson. I like Dory Jackson against Detroit quite a lot.
Yeah.
And I'll probably lean Geno Stone is probably a safer play. But, yeah, I mean, the one name here that stands out to me is the one I won't pick is Martin Emerson with Denzel Ward back. But still, I guess I lean Geno Stone, maybe a Dory Jackson for a higher ceiling.
From a Facebook user, what's your view on Roquan? Less snaps last week, not at LB1 anymore till he proves it correct.
Yeah, he's not in my lineups until something breaks.
Yeah, I mean, he's learning. He's on a new team, learning a new defense, new calls. So, yeah, probably not. Give him a couple weeks to kind of learn the playbook better, and he should, in theory, return.
And that's a great point because it's actually a really hard defensive scheme for any linebacker to run. And that was actually part of Patrick Queen's downfall at one point. But, he's more on an off-the-ball kind of guy. I think they're going to find a way to use both of these guys in the long run. Hopefully we see it this week. I'm actually avoiding the whole secondary situation with the safeties because I think they're going to find a way to put Queen and both of them on there, good 90% each. I know it's a hot take, man. It's a hot shit take, but it's
What
I believe it.
What's the snap shares right now?
Right now, Queen's been leading.
I know Roquan Smith
By
had
a lot,
76% last week.
I think he got an increase last week, but I think Queen still had his. Here, I'll look it up. I got it right here in front of me. I don't know why I'm not looking.
The only reason I ask is because if people need to play Roquan, is he still a play that's going to get you points?
I don't think he's not. I don't think he's going to flop. No, I can't say that. That'd be stupid. I'd say that I would. I'm not playing him as an LB1 play right now if I don't have to. You know, are you talking standard league? You talking? We got 4 linebackers. Help me out. Throw me a box to think from, I guess. But if I only got like 2 linebackers I'm starting, I'm hoping for another.
Yeah. So the person who asked that question, put it in the comments below what your what your starting roster looks like. Are you playing 4 linebackers? What's your scoring system as well? That does help answer these questions too.
So from week, Roquan Smith, this is the only play. I'm still looking. Jeez, how far I gotta go.
I will say they're obviously coming off bye, and they obviously acquired him. And, you know, they had a full week, a long week as well to get him into that defense. I could totally see his snaps jumping. I just find it hard to believe that they gave up what they did as well as the contract they're going to have to give for them to play him on 76% of snaps. I feel like he will jump to that 90 around this week, kind of like what you said, Gary. But I do agree that it feels like his upside is a little bit capped outside of that top 12. But I do think he could still be a good top 20, top 15 play, especially against the Panthers. I like that matchup.
From another Facebook user, pick 2 guys to start in a PPR league: Deontay Johnson, DJ Moore, DeAndre Swift, Jamal Williams. I can tell you, I do not like DeAndre Swift right now until he proves
Until he gets
otherwise.
Yeah.
It's Jamal Williams and Deontay Johnson for me, and truthfully, it's not that close, and it scares me that it's not that close. I mean, Deontay Johnson has been very disappointing, but he's still seeing a lot of volume. He's actually 3rd in the NFL in pass interferences as well. So he's, you know, there are plays where he should be getting the ball. He's just getting hacked. And like you said, I'm not trusting Swift, and I'm not trusting Moore with non-PJ Walker, which is a sentence I was never hoping to say before the season, but here I am, week 11, saying that.
Well, honestly, do you trust DJ Moore with any of those 3 quarterbacks in Carolina?
I do with PJ Walker. He was balling out with PJ.
Yeah, Jamal Williams for sure. Swift, you're playing Jamal Williams as Swift, I guess, as you drafted Swift, you know, if you got him. Deontay Johnson, like Michael said, I think he's got couple of the most pass interferences, but it's also he's like top 5 to 10 in expected points for fantasy wide receivers because of his targets and stuff like that. And so I'm gonna ride him, and I don't like I don't like the Panthers quarterback options today for Moore, so that's a pretty easy one for me, Johnson and Williams.
I don't do corners.
Will, did you already give your thoughts on this?
I did not, but I would just be beating a dead horse with Deontay Jamal Williams.
Another Facebook user have Perriman, and he's worried about him not starting again. Should I pick up Sanborn and play him over Perriman, or wait it out and see if he plays? Can then either pick up Max Crosby or Jason Brown. What are your guys' thoughts?
Sanborn, avoid the hassle, avoid the headache.
Yeah, as long as you don't have to drop Perriman, probably that's fine. I mean, you could maybe drop Perriman in a deeper league. It's not a big deal. But Max Crosby's kind of intriguing, though. Man's been an animal. Even if you got to play, if it's like a flex thing where you're playing a linebacker, you know, D lineman, and you can put him there. If you can pick up Max Crosby, I think, and you start D lineman, I definitely would have him on my team.
I like that Crosby because, I mean, he's my number 1 defensive line play this week. I mean, Gotta love that matchup.
He's
But
on fire.
it depends on what format you're playing too. If we're talking balanced, yeah, Sanborn or Crosby, flip your quarter to me. I mean, but I think the upside might be Crosby. It's real close. It's real close for me on that one. But if it's tackle based, it's pretty no brainer on Sanborn.
Yeah, I'm curious why Max Crosby is on the waivers though, because he is typically a top 12 D lineman weekly. So if you can, again, it depends on what your scoring is, and that might be why he's on the waivers. But if you could snatch him up, he might be a good play. But I would go Sanborn this week, and honestly, I would probably drop Perryman for Sanborn. But I don't like Perryman.
Yep. And start playing deeper formats, man. They're just as cool, a little bit more interesting. That's a good step there. Good call bringing up Max Crosby for this play. Now, then we'll join some leagues and get about 6, 7 starters, 8 starters. It's even cooler. Good shit.
Awesome. Hey, did you guys hear about the Kobe Dean autograph jersey giveaway we're doing?
What?
Yeah, that's sweet too, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. We're actually raffling off an autographed Kobe Dean jersey and other prizes. To enter, you must visit idpguys.org/contest. You will have an opportunity to get 9 chances to win. And when we get 1,000 subscribers to our YouTube channel, we will randomly choose a winner. And it's not just the Kobe Dean jerseys. We're also giving away IDP subscriptions of various lengths as well and levels.
Sweet.
So definitely go check that out.
Green jersey, didn't they?
Yeah, here I can actually show you
that's pretty cool.
the jersey that we
I like him better than the white.
To be auctioning or raffling off here.
Yeah, sweet.
Let me see.
Sexy jersey.
It is. It is.
Is that only 80 entries so far?
Yes, only 80 entries. So
there gotta be 81. Gotta get on it. Going up.
So there's still plenty of time to enter because we're at 811 subscribers on our YouTube page. So if you guys want this jersey, go get your 9 chances to win this jersey. It is a sweet jersey. All right, back to our start sit questions here. Will is asking, do you guys think Hufanga is a top 10 DB rest of the season? If he didn't get that late interception last week, he lays a big egg. So what are your thoughts?
It's interesting to see if you look at the snap counts for the last 2 to 3 weeks or so. Jimmy Ward being back, they've been playing Jimmy Ward, Gibson, and I call him Hoffman. I don't know. I'm going to mess up the last name to begin with. So I think it's affected a little bit. Then you've had Greenlaw and Alice Shazier that both had been healthy. So, I mean, you're looking at a little bit of a different situation, especially with the interior linebackers in front of them that wasn't there at the beginning of the season. Now, I'm not sure what their health injury status is right now. I don't know about a top 10. I think on average, that's a rest of the season. If you're talking the next 3 or 4 games, probably not.
I think he does generally give you a safe floor. He does play a lot of snaps. And if you watch, he's there on a lot of plays. He's someone that I've noticed is just all over the field. He's a hustler. Like I like the fact that he's on the field a lot and he does end up where the ball is on almost every single play. So last week was kind of, like this interception saved him for sure, but he's generally had a good floor. And like Tipster over here is telling you, they got the other guys back, and they're playing more. But like I said, Hufanga is all over the field, and I like him. Maybe not top 10 though.
Even with everyone back, he still had 100% snaps last week.
Yep. Right. Yeah. That's right.
He's still on the field. Like you said, he's around the ball all the time. Not probably, like Tipster said, not top 10, but definitely top 15.
He still gives you
right.
It just takes away, having good players out there obviously takes away a little bit of his upside when he's not one of the only good or better players. So yeah, you might lose a little bit of upside, but I think he's still a very good play.
I agree with all that. I'll echo Will and say I won't be a dead horse.
I'm looking. He does have a couple of really nice matchups, like Week 13 with the Dolphins, I believe.
Ooh.
The one thing I'll add is I will actually add one thing is that it's not like this was his first interception on the year as well. It's his fourth. He, yes, it definitely bailed him out this week, but he has that ability to grab a pick now and then, and that's a nice
And
little way
save his
to.
day.
Exactly.
Right. If I remember right, he came in hot. Fred Warner was a little on the cold side.
Yeah.
And then, second, yeah. So everybody got started. Joey Boza was the only guy that's on cue really back then.
Regarding that Roquan question, he only has 3 IDP spots, and they're all flex spots, so they can play anybody. Most guys play linebackers. Is the reason Crosby is still on waivers. 2 points per tackle. My other IDP players are Evans, Simmons, Devin White, and Pearman.
Yeah, unless you're getting 4, 5, 6 with points per sack with 2-point tackles, Crosby's probably not. That's probably why he's on the waivers.
Yeah.
But if it's like 6-point sack league and people just like linebackers, he gives you the upside there. If you get if it rewards for sacks.
I'd play Crosby over Simmons if we are talking 5 to 6 points per sack. I don't know if that's crazy coming off the week that Simmons had, but that's kind of where I'm at in this matchup, because Denver. I mean, Russ holds the ball so goddamn long.
Yes,
Max Crosby will get home. He had 10 tackles last week too. Let's just add that in too. It's insane. But
he's a beast.
He is amazing. He's so fun to watch. Oh my!
He's a machine. I mean, I hate watching him because he's on the Raiders as a Chiefs fan, but
Evans, we're talking Atlanta's Evans.
probably that's
assume
why
so.
for him.
For Sean, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Only one I wouldn't play is Perryman, probably. I know that's a short shit answer. Sorry, these guys got your back.
Steven Smith is saying, I picked up Tranquil yesterday. I was kind of shocked he was still on the wire. What are your guys' opinion on Bolton these last couple of weeks? He hasn't played like his normal self.
Yeah, and had to. Willie Gay's actually getting some play.
Yeah.
Probably Tranquil. I mean, he's another overachiever. Favorite of mine, actually.
Outside of the interception for Nick Bolton, he doesn't do much last week.
It was a very abnormal game for Nick Bolton because he was still out there, but he just wasn't getting tackles, and they were just running away from him. It felt like, because I remember watching it because I put a prop on him that day. But I mean, I'm still faithful in Nick Bolton. I mean, still 100% snaps last week. He still will be going forward. If I had to play one over the other, I would probably still play Bolton. I think it's just a better matchup on the Chiefs side than the Chargers side. This one,
I have to agree with that. Actually, looking at it, there's no reason to bell on Bolton this week, right?
Yeah, the Chargers is a great matchup.
If Tranquil's there now, apparently you've got quite a few other options that's going to be available. I would think that Tranquil would be one of the last guys on the waiver wire if this wasn't a shallow league, standard league, excuse me.
We also have some actives and inactives coming out. I guess I'll just throw it out there. Gus Edwards is out of the Ravens. Mark Andrews is in. AJ Terrell is back for the first time in weeks, as well as Eric Harris. Then Donovan Sue, Linval Joseph are back. Jordan Poyer is also back, which it's been a minute for him too. So he could slide. What's his name? He played the opposite of DeMar Hamlin. I brought him up on the waiver. I showed him blanking, but the other Buffalo safety, you can slide him back on your bench or waiver wire even.
Not Hamlin, but that Jaquan Johnson. He actually lost out playing time to some
it was the other guy.
Cornerback. Yeah, some like fourth cornerback or something, but now doesn't really matter who that Joe was because he's not going to be playing. I can't remember. He was a cornerback. I don't do cornerbacks.
There's too many of them.
Hi, guys. Pick one, Van Jefferson, Hollins, Deontay, or more. I'm looking for a better floor.
I guess when you say floor, I would say Deontay, but Moore, I think, is going to give you it either way. Deontay's getting the most targets, and if you want a floor, he shouldn't give you 4 for 40, So Rondell's probably the right play, though, especially if the other receivers don't play.
Are all these guys like 80+ snap guys, 100% snap guys?
Yeah, they probably will be. They should all be the wide receiver 2 or better for their teams.
Yeah, I was just curious what their matchups were, because that's the only thing I rank or look at is their matchup strength. So I know who in the hell Van Jefferson is, but who's he play?
He's on the Rams. He'll take on, what is that? The Rams got who do they have this week?
Okay, I got them ranked 7th. All right, so what's Hollins?
Cooper Kupp.
It's no Cooper Kupp. I do think Van Jefferson takes a bigger step up than Allen Robinson this week. I talked about it on this week's IDP Guys waiver wire show, actually.
Sweet.
I like Van Jefferson, and I would want to play Rondell Moore like you, Logan, but I'm not willing to take the Monday night risk of I don't want to play him. And I think Marquise Brown's back, and I don't know about Hopkins. So if all of a sudden he's the wide receiver 3 and we're looking for floor,
right,
I'm not going to chase that. Deontay's probably the safest of the bunch. I want to play Van Jefferson, but Deontay's probably the best play.
So
especially
we have
Rondell is also out too.
We have Rondell ranked at 18 on our wide receiver rankings, and Deontay down at 30. Of course, I think that's assuming Hollywood's out, but Rondell is probably out of that group. The ones we're talking about, he could definitely goose you, and you're looking for a better floor. That I don't see a world where Deontay gives you a goose, and I can see that world for Rondell. So I would definitely go Deontay. There's, like I said, safe floor, 4 points, 40 yards. It's not going to goose you.
But that's all dependent on Hollywood Brown, you said, right?
No, I think Rondell could goose you even if Hollywood doesn't play.
Okay.
But that's my personal opinion. I don't like Rondell anyways. I don't think he's as talented as everybody's giving him credit for.
I got you. I got you. We'll be quiet for now, but we'll start our train back up in a couple of weeks.
So yeah, I'm all about Deontay out of this group of guys.
Van Jefferson's intriguing if you're shooting for some upside, for sure.
He is, but I would want to see
look as very deep.
If you're looking for a floor, you want to see that from Van Jefferson first.
Right, Deontay's the floor.
So these 3 players are on the waiver wire, and he needs a pickup for the rest of the season. JOK, Willie Gay, or Chin. All were dropped due to injuries.
Gosh. Depends on who.
Not JOK.
Need more linebackers. Yeah, Gay or Chin for me. Chin coming back, he's a monster, but Gay's been playing really well. So I think if you can take the shot on Chin if you want. That's a little bit more upside.
I want to say Chin.
Go for it.
But sorry. We don't know what his usage is going to look like. He was falling out of favor with what's his nuts that got fired. That's why we saw so much from Donovan Wilson. And so we don't know what that offense is going to, or that defense is going to look like with Chin coming back. Willie Gay has shown pretty well, and JOK is pretty good too. I think I like Willie Gay out of that group. Chin will probably hang around another week or two until people see what he's going to do, and I don't want to take that risk, especially with a DB. So that's where I'm at on that.
If he's smart, he's not sticking his neck out first thing anyways. Why what do they gain by putting him out there and saying, all right, go ahead, Hunt? They're probably going to tell him stick at the back of the field and watch things happen for a while. So I think all your upside and way after you guys were talking is probably Gay. I just definitely wouldn't do JOK right now out of those 3.
I lean Gay as well. I the point that you brought up, Will, is really important. The coaching situation is now different, where his usage was slipping, he was playing deeper, but now it's the defensive coordinator that stepped up into, the head coaching role. So you imagine it shouldn't change that much because Matt Rule had nothing to do with the defense. So if you're hoping for anything to change, you could maybe hope, because now that things are drastically different 6-7 weeks later. But Willie Gay is still my answer unless you're desperately in need for a DB upside type of thing.
Marco is asking, start 2, JT, Pacheco, Mitchell, Cook, or Robinson. It's a half PPR league.
Let's get JT out of this list, right? And we can go with that.
JT for
Start
sure.
JT.
Yeah, start JT.
Okay, Pacheco, Mitchell.
It's Bob Pacheco for me. I love this matchup against the Chargers. I know it's scary to trust a Chiefs running back, but the Chargers' defensive line is annihilated by injuries right now. And they were already allowing, I believe, a top 5 number to, or bottom 5 number to the fantasy running back. So I'll chase Pacheco and not chase the San Fran Mitchell situation, and I refuse to play James Cook or James Robinson.
Yeah, JT and Pacheco for me too. I think you're going to see Mitchell start to tail off in his usage a little bit as they get McCaffrey more comfortable and situated in the office and really figure out how to use him the right way. James Cook, probably not worthwhile. James Robinson, he's in a backfield share, and it was a rough trade for him to go there with the group that was already there. I think your best upside is going to be JT and Pacheco.
Gentlemen, this is my chance to exit left. You have a great weekend. Thanks for having me, and we'll see you in Discord.
Yeah, thanks for jumping on and sharing some of your IDP knowledge with us.
Well,
Have you with us?
I learned. I love that cornerback. You guys knew who they were and everything. I was like, damn. Hey, I love it. I'll talk to you guys next week or something. All right.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
All right, later.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
You too. Thank you.
So we got one from our dude, Steve, Dynasty Santa. I heard he's in the North Pole. We're checking his naughty and nice start list for the first time since it is Christmas season for him. But he is asking he needs 2 flex between Pacheco, Josh Palmer, Jalen Warren, or Gerald Everett.
I know he wants to start Jalen Warren so bad
He
too.
does.
It's not the
He's
right
itching.
answer. It's not the right
I
answer.
know he does, but I don't think so either.
I need the right answer in several leagues.
I think you're going to be forced into an answer. Oh, God, this is a really tough. I mean, Pacheco's the one locked-in start for me here. And Gerald Everett would be the other one for me. But downgraded yesterday, or downgraded on a Saturday, that is as bad of an indication as you could hope for. And it's a Sunday night game.
Right.
And you have Josh Palmer as a pivot, so I guess, but then Keenan Allen and Mike Williams might be out there. I guess I'll go Pacheco and Everett if you play as Josh Palmer. If not, that's probably.
I was going to lean Palmer anyways, just because Everett, Mike Williams, and Allen are all dinged up in some way.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I feel like at least one of them's not going to play, maybe 2 of them even. Keenan Allen's the type of guy to go out there and be like, never mind. So Mike Williams kind of is too, So I'm going to lean Palmer in a game which we hope is a little more of a passing match. Pacheco for sure, though. He got good volume last week, and they named him the starter, and he had a few rough weeks. We had some tough matchups. So, and I think with San Francisco tough matchup, and then Tennessee was a come from behind, a trailing game for a little while. But yeah, I think Pacheco sees a healthy dose, and like we were saying, Chargers defense or defensive line at least. So.
I'm going to say Pacheco and Jalen Warren.
Don't give him.
Oh gosh!
I'm going to give him the love. Well, hold on. Here's why, right? So
Mike
Williams likely to play. Keenan Allen is coach's decision whether or not he's going to play. He'll probably sit, give him 1 more week of rest, and bring him back next week. Gerald Everett, whatever there. The thing that nobody mentioned is Austin Eckler. And he's going to get all the touchdowns. He's going to get all the yardage. Josh Palmer is going to be a target out there. He'll get a couple of yards, and that's about the extent of it. Jalen Warren is likely to pick up a bigger snap load this week. He's got more upside for the touchdowns that Josh Palmer doesn't have. The yardage could definitely end up being equal, but Warren has the touchdown upside that Palmer does not have.
I might disagree with you there because I think the Steelers' offense is just that inept, and I think the Chargers could see a return to form. I just think it's more likely that Keenan Allen and Gerald Everett sit than Jalen Warren is to get a touchdown. And if in that situation, I want to play Josh Palmer. And this match against the Chiefs, which are, it's allowing 2 passing touchdowns a game right now.
Yeah, but it's also more like, to me, I think it's more likely that Eckler gets all 4 touchdowns and nobody else in Chargers gets a touchdown. And Jalen Warren has a better chance at it if they end up in the red zone.
If they score 4 touchdowns at that point, Josh Palmer's seeing, upwards of 10 targets in a higher scoring game. If especially if Keenan Allen and Everett are out. I just think Warren's so intriguing. I don't disagree. I just think Palmer's upside is a little bit better with that, just because of the offenses. It's possible, like Michael said, we could see the Chargers return and get 30 and score 35 points, and it's likely the Steelers, drop a 6 or a 3 or 10, But I definitely like Jaylen Warren in like a deeper league, because like I would definitely be okay starting him. I don't disagree with you. I really like him.
So I want to stay in Kansas City with that offense and the wide receiver situation. Is Kadarius Toney about to have a huge game today?
No, he's going to have a good game, though. I think everyone calling for top 12 is set up for disappointment. Everyone calling for top 20 is correct, because the volume will be there and the matchup is good. I still am not all in on the Toney train, because I never was in on him. But the usage is there. The matchup's great.
I am ecstatic playing him as my like wide receiver 3 or 4 with the upside for sure and all that. But yeah, top 12, I think you're getting a little greedy. Top 20 for sure. He's a great wide receiver too, with plenty of upside because of that offense. But you still got Travis Kelce. MVS could catch a deep ball, and like there's weapons. Justin Watson obviously comes out kind of and plays well when we need him. And Noah Gray gets used. So I think, and we ran the ball almost 20 times last week. So I think I think Toney may want to temper expectations, but the talent is crazy. The offense upside is there. I'm not ruling out of the cards that he could be literally wide receiver 1 this week. That's his upside this week for sure, in the matchup and who's out and his situation.
So do you think he could be a Tyreek Hill replacement? Not this season, obviously, but in the next couple seasons or even next season?
No.
I think we've seen the Tyreek replacement as a good core of, or a good mix of talented, differently skilled receivers that that give Mahomes plenty of options, and that gives you Tyreek's upside. It's unless we get I don't know. There's no one like Tyreek, man. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that's my biggest basis for it, is that there's nobody like him.
Yeah, his offensive replacement is a core of receivers to kind of
maybe try to fill in.
Yeah. Defense has figured out how to stop a Tyreek Hill setup with the Chiefs, so he's not gonna be the Tyreek Hill replacement. He'll probably have big games like Tyreek, but it's not gonna be half of what Tyreek was consistently.
I think a Chiefs receiver can win you a week on any week, no matter who it is. Just with the offensive upside, right? You could throw MVS out there. It could be him. You could throw Toney, Mecole. You never know. Kelce is your staple, obviously, but
yeah. All right, back to the comments here. Malcolm Rodriguez is available again in Dynasty. Who should I drop for him? Pay, Anzalone, Derek Brown, or Quincy Williams?
I don't think I'm dropping Pay or Derek Brown.
I was going to say Derek Brown, actually.
Derek Brown's been balling out, man. I liked him coming out.
Yeah, but if I remember right, that league's not a DT required league.
That's the important distinction there. Is if you have to play him as a defensive, if you can play him as a defensive tackle, you're not dropping Derek Brown for almost anything right now. If you're playing him as defensive lineman, period, you can make the argument for it. If I had to pick one, it would probably be Anzalone holds no value to me next year. And if you're playing him, then if you are in need of a starter, you're not going to drop Anzalone. I don't know if I need to drop anybody from Malcolm Rodriguez of this bunch. If I had to pick one, maybe it's Anzalone, because there's no future value to me compared to what Malcolm Rodriguez could be. But it's not like Rodriguez has been a top, a super top play that we kind of wanted to be after he's flashed at times.
Yeah. You might be able to move Anzalone for a late rookie pick and then just pick up Rodriguez with that open roster spot. I do that in a lot of leagues. If you've got a linebacker that's playing well that you don't trust, give him up for whatever you can get for him, and then go pick up that younger guy.
That's a great
idea. I might do that on this one.
That's a really good point. I want to have Rodriguez on my team, but it's hard to drop some of those guys. They're not bad.
Start 3: Thielen, Cooks, Dotson, Palmer, Thornton, Robinson, McKenzie, or Ben Scrotum Skoranek.
No, not Skoranek. I refuse to. I'm trying to. As much as I express some optimism for Van Jefferson, I'm trying to be as hands off of the Rams as I can, which is again another sentence. Can't believe I'm saying now. But of this bunch, for me, I'd go. Just take a deep breath, swallow the crap that I'm going to have to say right here. But Brandon Cooks. Yeah, I know you can raise your eyebrows. I'm just not excited about any of them. I don't think Wan'Dale's playing. So I guess I go Brandon Cooks, Dotson, Palmer, which I'm sure is the exact 3 that you would not take, right? Well,
I would go Dotson.
it's not a pretty bunch of players we got here.
I'll agree with you with Dotson, definitely. As much as I was against Palmer with that other question here, I would throw Palmer out there, and I like McKenzie.
McKenzie's hurt me too much this year. I like him as well, and I bought
really
in. I bought in a little bit.
If they weren't indoors, I would not go McKenzie. But I mean, Buffalo threw the ball 40 some odd times last week, and they were playing outdoors, and now they're going to be indoors where it's going to be better weather. Allen's another week removed from the injury. I think McKenzie's a good play this week.
I think you just talked me into McKenzie right there. I'll go McKenzie for one of them. Definitely still Dotson.
And I believe Newsome is out, so if that helps defensive back wise.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt for sure for him, especially. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna go with the upside shot. Or actually, you know what? I think Cooks gets. Let's say Cooks bounces back. I think Palmer's got some upside, but Will kind of talk me off the touchdown, like no touchdowns. So I'll go Cooks, Dotson, and McKenzie.
We got to pick one: Bates, Clark, Troy Hill, or Surtain.
Surtain.
I want to say Chuck Clark off the top of my head. I want to check something before I say it. Assuming this is Chuck Clark, right? I mean,
I don't know what other Clark it would be.
I know Clark hurt you before the bye, and obviously we have the change of a defensive scheme a little bit by adding Roquan in there and probably going to more 2 linebacker sets, which probably does hurt Chuck Clark quite a bit. Man, I mean, Jesse Bates has been very, playing deep in the secondary. He has a very good chance of getting a pick against, Kenny Pickett. Well, Logan, you feel like I feel like you have a pained face right now.
Well, I was thinking Bates, and then when Will said Surtain, I was like, that's probably the right play. And then I was kind of like thinking about it more, and Clark sounded okay, but then you kind of talked me out of Clark. I like Surtain in this one. I'm just every time I start thinking another train of thought, whatever you guys are saying, it steers me a different way. So I like Surtain in that matchup against the Raiders.
This is a tough one. This is probably the hardest question that I think I've seen so far today. I think I'll go Bates because I just feel that confident that Kenny Pickett throws a pass to him.
I like that though.
I think Troy Hill probably would be my number 2. Surtain a very close 3. Clark probably my 4.
So Elliott is active today, past concussion protocol. So is he a start over Hamlin or Hufanga?
Probably start for me over Hufanga. I think Hamlin's still got a safe role next to Jordan Poyer, and you have Tremaine Edmonds out, so you can maybe slips into the box a little bit more. And we know that Nick Chubb will probably reach the secondary more often than not, which should only help. I mean, Elliott's been great this year. I think I play him over Fanga and just avoid some of the volatility that we could occasionally see, but I don't think you're going to be wrong with any of them.
Yeah, I think it's all pretty close. Honestly, I think I'd just ride the hot hand with Hamlin and the volume of Nick Chubb that he's going to probably come see into his secondary. You said Tremaine Edmonds is out too?
Tremaine Edmonds is out, yes.
Oh, then I think, like you said, that definitely gets his usage up there a lot more. I like Hamlin.
I have a nice follow-up with this, too, after Will gives his take.
I would probably go Elliott and Hamlin. I'm a big fan of Hufanga, but I'm hesitant to start him this week. I know that San Francisco is a little banged up, but I like Elliott a little more than I do Hufanga this week.
So real quick before Mike gets to his take here, Will's throwing us some love. He loves the insight that we give, and he enjoys the stream. We're glad to have you here, Will, and we hope to see you the next few weeks. But Mike, if you want to go ahead and give us your take.
It's 100% a selfish question, piggybacking off the Deshaun Elliott news that he's going to play. So I'm facing with this dilemma now of, do I play Deshaun Elliott or do I bench one of the Houston linebackers? I have both. I have Deshaun Elliott. So it's Christian Harris, Christian Kirksey, and Deshaun Elliott, bench one.
You could still probably bench Elliott because don't they have the Commanders?
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see between Gibson and Robinson
35 carries, 40 carries, yeah.
Right, 40 touches from up the middle. Right up the middle.
Is Robinson worth a play today?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
Or is this still going to be the Gibson show?
I think he's a solid 60 yards a week floor, with this week being the Texans. Pretty good touchdown upside.
I think you could easily get 20, 80, and 1 today, and I wouldn't blink an eye.
Yep.
I don't think you can get much more than
20,
that.
maybe 70.
Sure. I'll go less effective for sure. I don't think
he's not going to have 4. No way. I'm just kidding.
The other thing I am interested to see today is in the Pittsburgh Bengals game, is Watt going to be the same Watt as previous, or is it going to take him a game to get back into the stride of things?
2 sacks.
What a silly question. What a silly question this guy's asking. TJ Watt is going to just annihilate football. We're good.
TJ Watt's my number 1 D lineman this week, so that says everything I feel.
2+ sacks.
2 sacks, forced fumble, pick 6, kick return touchdown.
Touchdown. Every defense.
Yeah. 2 pick 6s.
Pass deflection.
Will's hot take is Highsmith will eat today.
I said it last week on my Twitter as well, is that nobody outside of Steelers fans, Alex Highsmith missed TJ Watt more than anybody in football. And we saw that last week too. So
I have Highsmith at 12 this week, so loving both of them.
Awesome. The next question I'm going to ask you is more of just a fun question. If the NFL banned beer sales at games, would you still go?
Heck yeah, man! They're going to save me the $10 to $15 of beer. I mean, listen, I'd like to have it, but I'll save the money, It's fine.
Usually, tailgate and only buy a few anyway.
Exactly.
1 or 2, $15 beers anyway. So.
I'm just taking a shot at the World Cup since it starts today.
That's crazy.
Playing right now, Qatar, Ecuador.
Yeah.
Ecuador leading 2-0 at halftime.
We got a final question. Came in last second here. Ben Hartley. Okereke should get all the snaps today, correct?
Yeah. Honestly, I've somewhat disparaged him for a little bit on my newsletter just because he was losing snaps and all of a sudden Shaq Leonard was going to be back, but he's not. Even Zaire Franklin's a little bit nicked up himself, so he should be a safe 80% guy at least. Could easily hit 100. I wouldn't be surprised.
Man, I saw Leonard went on IR. I didn't see that his season ending IR. Probably figured so. But
that's what they should have done at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, probably.
Big for him and everybody in fantasy.
Instead of getting my hopes up.
All right. Well, with that question being answered, I think this is a good time to cut it off. Want to wish everybody good luck. Have a good Thanksgiving this upcoming Thursday, and we'll have some good football as well. We'll see you guys next week. Best of luck today in all your matchups, and hopefully our advice gives you the win. With that being said, we'll see you guys later.
Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.
You're looking at matchups.